Hello, welcome to Mr. Mel's Maths. Today we're going to be looking at multiplication, division of fractions. So please follow along, pause the video if you need to, write things down. It really helps to write things down. So the first thing we're going to look at is just a simple technique for multiplying proper fractions. They're fractions where the top, the numerator, is smaller than the bottom. And this is really simple. We've done addition and subtraction of fractions. There's a link in the video for that video below if you want to check that out. This is a slightly different technique. If anything, it's a little bit easier. So let's go through that. So to multiply fractions together, all we have to do is multiply the top two numbers together and multiply the bottom two numbers together. There are some simplification techniques we can use before that, but that's the basics of it. That's what happens in essence. So we'll look at some questions where we can't simplify and we'll just do them. So you get the idea of how to carry this out. And then we'll look at some questions where you simplify first. So question 1 here is 2/3 times 4/5. So we should do the top times the top, so 2 times 4, which is 8, and then the bottom times the bottom, 3 times 5, which is 15. And that's literally it. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Some questions, you will have what we have in this case is common factors on particular diagonals. Now we can always simplify on the diagonal like this when multiplying, or we can simplify on the diagonal like this when we're multiplying. We can also simplify up and down. We should kind of know that already. So we should always do that first. We just can't go simplify sideways. So when I say simplify on the diagonals, we look for numbers that have common factors, so numbers that go into them exactly. So for example, 3 and 9, there is a factor that goes into those two numbers, which is 3. So I'm going to divide both them by 3, so divide 3 by 3, which is 1, and divide 9 by 3, which is 3, cross them out nice and neat, replace them. And that's simplifying before we multiply. Always simplify first. The whole point of simplification is it makes things easier, and then the next calculation becomes easier. Check the other diagonal, 2 and 7, but there are no common factors here, so we can't cancel on that diagonal. Once we've simplified, top times top, 1 times 2, bottom times bottom, 7 times 3, 21. So we should get 2 over 21. And then we carry on the same kind of fashion. So this question, we always look for diagonals. So look on the diagonal 5 and 10, and we look to simplify if we can. So a common factor, a number that goes into both of those is 5. 5 goes into 5 once, so cross out, write a 1. It goes into 10 twice, cross out, write 2. Same on the other diagonal, 4 and 13. Again, this time there are no common factors on this diagonal, so there's no simplification. So then we just carry on top times top, 4 times 2, which is 8, 1 times 13, which is 13. Always top times top, bottom times bottom. Question number 4. This time I've put some improper fractions in, you'll notice, so the number on the top is bigger than the number on the bottom, but that doesn't matter. All we do is still look to simplify. So simplify on this diagonal, common factor of 9 and 6, which is 3. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 6 twice, so cross them out respectively and write the new numbers. And then 4 and 14, we have a common factor. It doesn't have to be a number that's the number itself. It can be any common factor. So any number that divides exactly into 4 or 14, which in this case is 2. 2 goes into 4 twice, cross it out, write the 2. Goes into 14 7 times, cross it out, write the 7. And then once I've simplified, top times top, 3 times 7, which is 21. Bottoms times bottom, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. And then I should change this to a mixed number. So how many times does the 4 on the bottom go into 21, which is 5 times, with 1 left over. So 1 over 4. Hopefully we're happy at conversions between improper fractions and mixed numbers. Question 5 and 6, they have mixed numbers in. And mixed numbers in any kind of fraction question, the first thing that we should do is convert those mixed numbers to improper fractions. Just makes everything a lot easier, and then everything follows in a nice fashion afterwards. So 1 and 2/3, remember to convert, we do the big number times the bottom, so 1 times 3, and then, which is 3, and then add the 2 on the top, which is 5, the bottom doesn't change. 1.5 is the same, so 1 times 2, which is 2, and then add the top on, so add the 1 on, which is 3 over 2. And then once we've got them as improper fractions, we then follow the same technique as we've done the whole way through this video, which is to look for common factors on the diagonals. So 5 and 2, no common factors. 3, oops, rub the 3 out, sorry, and 3. There is a common factor of 3, so it goes into each of them once. And then top times top, 5 times 1, and bottom times bottom, 1 times 2. So we get 5 over 2. And then convert, 2 into 5 goes twice, with 1 left over. Keep the denominator the same. And then last one on multiplication before we go on to division. So again, exactly the same as the previous one, we convert to a improper fraction. So 1 times 14 is 14 plus the 1 is 15. Bottom stays the same. Times by 2 times 5 is 10. Add the 2 on is 12. So this is 12 over 5. So convert from mixed numbers to improper fractions and then look for common factors on the diagonal. So on the diagonal between 14 and 12, what's common? 2 is common. It goes into 14 7 times, into 12 6 times. And then on the other diagonal, we have a common factor of 5. 5 goes into 5 and it goes into 15. So it goes into 5 once and it goes into 15 3 times. And then once I've done all my simplification, top times top, 3 times 6, which is 18. And then bottom times bottom, 7 times 1 is 7. So 18 over 7, and then convert to a mixed number. So 7 into 18 goes 2 times 7 is 14, with 4 left over. The bottom doesn't change. And that's how we multiply fractions. 4 questions on division. Division is very, very similar to multiplication. There's only one bit of it that changes. So if we learn how to multiply, we should be absolutely fine with division because there's just one little thing we have to remember. And that is that the second fraction flips upside down and we change it to a multiplication, and we follow the steps of multiplication exactly as if it was multiplication. So if you've been listening, hopefully you'll find that bit straightforward. So 8/9 divided by 2/3, so division, we keep the first fraction the same, doesn't change. We flip the second fraction and change to multiplication. And then we pretend like it's a multiplication question. So we look for common factors on this diagonal for 9 and 3, which is 3. So cross the 3 out and write 1, cross the 9 out and write 3. And then common factors on the other diagonal with 8 and 2. 2 is common. So we'll have 2 into 2 goes once, and 2 into 8 goes 4. And then top times top, 4 times 1, bottom times bottom, 3 times 1, and then convert 1 and 1 left over, 4 divided by 3. That's it, that's the only step that changes. So exactly the same here, 7/12 divided by 14 over 5. So we keep the first fraction the same, change it to multiplication, and flip the second fraction on its head. So top becomes the bottom and vice versa. And then carry on as if it were multiplication. What's common here? 7 is common. Goes in here once, goes in here twice. This diagonal, no common factors, so we can't cancel, that's fine. We just carry on, which is top times top, 1 times 5, and bottom times bottom, 12 times 2, 5 over 24. Mixed numbers, we proceed in the same way as we do as always with fractions. We convert them to improper fractions first. So just 1 to convert here, so 1 and 3/5. We're going to convert this one. 1 times 5, add the 3, it's 8 over 5. Notice how I keep this as division to start with because I'm just going to convert to start with. People sometimes try and flip at the same time, but the more you skip out, the easier it is to make mistakes. So convert the first one, and then the next step, then I can flip and change to times. So flip the second, change to times, and then common factors, 8 and 3, there aren't any, so we leave them. Common factors, 10 and 5, oops, I rubbed my 5 out again. There is a common factor of 5. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 10 twice. Top times top, 8 times 2, bottom times bottom, 1 times 3. And then always convert to a mixed number. So 3 goes into 16 5 whole times with 1 left over. Bottom doesn't change. And final question. This time we've got 2 mixed numbers. We're going to convert them both to improper fractions. So 2 times 2 is 4. Add the 1 is 5. Stay as division because we're just converting to improper fractions first. 1 times 15 is 15. Add the 3. Then we keep the first fraction the same, change it to times, and flip the second fraction. And you'll notice with this one, there are no common factors on this diagonal, and there are no common factors on this diagonal. So unfortunately, we've got some slightly bigger numbers to multiply, but it's just the principle that's important. So I'll be doing 5 times 15, which is 75, 2 times 18, which is 36. And then converting these, so 36 into 75, a little bit harder calculations, but the principle's the same. 2 times 36 is 72, with 3 left over. And this one's a little bit sneaky, because I should really simplify the fraction. 3 over 36, 3 is common. 3 goes into this once, into this 12 times, so 2 and a 12th. Thanks for watching. That's multiplication, division of fractions. Remember, write things down, pause the video if you need to. If you like the video, please hit the subscribe button and like it and watch more videos. Thank you.